All right. So, welcome everyone. I am Christy Godwin, Psychic Medium. Please welcome Jess Foster of Foster and Company or Foster and Co.
Hi, I'm
I
Jess.
want to thank everyone that is joining us. I'm putting the chat on the screen. So, people out there, please start putting things in the chat so we can make sure we can see it. Please we have some discussion points that I know that Jess and I have both gotten as we have been putting on seminars and doing lives on the subject of expanding businesses. So I have gathered questions from those times, but please, if you have other questions, put them in the chat and we will address them. Okay, there we go. You're going to be able to see that I forgot I had to click. I had to click for you to be able to see the comments. Now you'll be able to see them. All right. So the first thing we're going to get going on is, what have you been hearing, Jess, is people's biggest struggle lately in their businesses?
I would say just with AI and stuff, not being so intimidated by it. I feel like a lot of people are freaking out about it and they don't know how to implement it correctly. They see it either as like they go too far, like, oh, let's use it for everything, and or then they're scared of it. So I feel like people are struggling a lot with that whole new like lane that all of us have access to.
Yes, I think that, and this is what Jess does. This is her area of expertise, is being able to, when do you use AI and when don't you? I think there is a place for AI, but also I think that people can overuse it. And they think it's going to solve all their problems. Well, if anyone's ever done anything with AI, who here has ever written an instruction on AI and what comes out is nothing that you really wanted to? Me. So Jess that's where you have the expertise of someone like Jess who comes in. And most of us are familiar with chat. I also have an app that I have trained to answer questions in my voice, so that is a form of AI. But then Jess can come in and use it and make it look classy. Like so many things now you can, oh my gosh, that's so AI. That's AI. The things that Jess does, I've noticed, don't necessarily look like AI.
Oh, well, thank you.
And something else, I want to talk a little bit, Jess, about when it comes to social media management, when we talk about people, because I have a lot of people say just getting clients.
Right.
You have to have a social media presence.
Yeah.
If that's just the way we are. I know people who say, I don't like social media. It's a beast you have to deal with if you're going to have a business in this day and age. You just do. I know a lot of
Yes.
people, I have had psychic mediums that have hundreds of thousands of followers tell me, I think it was a way of trying to, make themselves look different. It's like, I don't like social media. I don't use social. I just get all my clients through referrals.
Yeah.
Then why do you have 10,000 videos posted on your social media?
Right.
So if someone comes to you and says, I need more clients, what's a game plan that you would put them on?
Well, I'd first like see, okay, what are you doing? And I think I just start with like, and as we've talked about, what is your business? I mean, you have to go back to like I think there's like a few things that you just have to think about, like, what's your business? What do you do? Are you getting that point across? Are you branded? And then what is your website like? Because no matter what, unfortunately, like everyone's going to need a website, and it can just be
Yeah.
one page. But if there's no place to land to and it just goes to Instagram and then you can DM me for services, to me, I feel like that's a bit shady. So that's why I always like just have like a homepage, and you can make a nice one with AI, I guess. But then, if you didn't want to like really like use someone like me, and I totally understand, but then you just also have to make sure that you're looking at the back end so people can even see your website that are Google. Like most people, what do we always say? Oh, Google that or Google that, right? So you want to be also being able to be seen. So whenever we got like what you look like, let's make sure that like in the back end of that one page website, all of those keywords are hit. Right. And so there's so many different ways and like tangents and tiers that I think you have to like address kind of at the same time,
Yeah,
or but I mean, it starts there. It's who
I
are you?
agree.
What do you do?
Exactly. Basic questions. Who are you? What do you do? And I always, when people come to me and I'm mentoring them, we're walking through how to expand their business. That's the first thing I ask is, do you have a web page? People think that you have to, I have a pretty big website. Like I do know that my website's pretty intricate, has a lot of pages to it. It didn't start out that way.
No,
It
ma'am.
started out, no, look at Jess. No, ma'am, I've done a lot of work on that website. I know it didn't start that way. It started
No.
really basic with my business, and it's continued to grow as I have grown. But it gives you some legitimacy for people to be able to Google you and go to some kind of homepage.
Right.
I have been to some pages, like Jess said, that were pretty basic. You just have a landing page with a couple of clicks here and there. Um, and then I think it's important, and this is what Jess is really good at, is branding. Being able to brand someone and get a logo and have that logo, because Jess has made all of my logos. I have several. One for my actual business, Psychic Medium. I have one because I have a school that I teach under. And then I have a group called the Divine Collective. And so Jess has always made sure that they resemble each other enough so
Mhm.
that if you see one, it kind of brings your awareness to the others.
It's like a family reunion. You know,
Yes,
I want to walk by and be like, "Oh, that's the Christie fam." Like that's how you stay together too. I feel like with so many logos and marks that are so easily made now. Just be careful, I would say, because AI generates great logos. Honestly, they've made better logos than I can either like ever think of. But then does that match all those other logos you did? So that's
right.
where I think like someone like me or other designers, we can at least help because we're trained to be able to look at those different nuances. And even
Yeah,
if it's an AI, I could just look and be like, all right, if I were you, I'd keep all these to like this palette, only use this one font, and then just like keep things together. You may not
yeah.
have to do an overhaul, just like little you know,
But it's those nuances that matter. And for someone like me, like Jess is trained in this arena, um, art director at businesses. So she is trained in this. And so I think it's fun, not really funny, but it's kind of funny when you see Jess, she can instantly tell because I will go on my website sometimes and add something, right? And then I will look at Jess. Yes, she's shaking her head. Don't do that. Don't do that, Kristen. So I will, if I get stuck, I will call Jess and we'll be on a phone call and she'll be sharing this. And she's like, oh, the font's wrong. So little things like that. Like I have one font for descriptions, another font for titles, stuff that I don't pay attention to because that's not my area of expertise. But Jess can tell when I've been in there messing around. She'll be like, you changed this font. What are you doing?
well, I just think, well, also, I'm going to move your site over to the Wix Studio just because it's bugging me. That whole thing, the whole Wix and now Wix Studio, you have to remake
Mhm.
the site. But it's so weird. But yeah, but the great thing about Wix and all these other sites that other, companies can do and new
Like
business.
WordPress, and what's some other popular ones?
There's Wix, there's Squarespace,
Oh, yeah,
there's
that is a popular one.
um, I had another site on cargo, but there's so many. Even GoDaddy has this
Oh,
kind
yeah, they do.
of,
Mhm.
and they actually, I hate those programs only because it's very rigid. So it makes it
Yes,
easy for someone to go, okay, like I won't screw up this font, but for someone like me, I as a design person, I don't want it there for a whole nother reason I don't even need to go into on this call. But like, so it bugs me. But if it's a normal business owner, and you just need to drop and like put things in the website now. It's so easy to not mess it up. So that's the good thing about these new websites and AI for that matter.
They are. I had someone who I was helping do something one time because I had an idea. So they were we were meeting. And so what I bring to the table is intuitiveness. I'll be like, okay, I'm seeing you. Spirit is showing me your business going in this direction. So someone was on there and she had, I think it was Squarespace or something space, but that site was so rigid. Like she went in there to change something while she was online with me. She was sharing it so I could see what she was doing.
Oh,
Not my area of expertise, but I was like, okay, change this and do this. And she was like, you can't. This is all you can do.
yeah. But it's
So
good. It's sometimes, but it's
it's
bad.
good sometimes. I think it might be a good beginner, but here's my thing when it comes to that. If you are making a beginning website, and this is why I went with the program that I did, it needs to be able to expand with you.
Mhm.
And you think that you're set and you're going to be okay with this very structured environment. But as your business changes, you're going to need more leeway. You're going to need more freedom within your website environment because I promise you that if you work your business and you get the correct um, mentorship on it, it's going to grow.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll just like brag about you,
Oh,
Christy, because you have like your site started out basic website, multiple pages, but then it was linked to, then remember it was linked to the external booking thing, and now we're all bringing it all in. So
trying
there's
to,
this whole other like this thing that she and I were getting into the other day, sharing the screen. There are all these all other insane functionalities that now she has on her site that like we would never think before.
yes,
Um,
yes. So
and
what
then
Jess is talking
yeah,
about, yeah, yeah, I had within my website, and it's expanded. Like the capabilities of the platform that my website is built on has expanded,
well,
but before it had expanded, I had to go to an external booking system. So my site, when you click to book an appointment, took you to an external system, though you didn't really know it.
right.
Now I'm trying to bring everything back to my website because their capabilities have expanded. And so Jess was trying to help me on there. Oh my goodness.
I
She was
mean,
she was clicking here. She's like, yeah, Christy, all you do is click here and that, and then you go to dashboard, you get the link, you come back over here. I was like, oh my goodness, my head is exploding. I'm a freaking psychic medium, not a not a
yeah,
techie person.
but then remember I don't know everything, right? And I was like, let's ask AI. And then I asked it and it helped us. And I was like, see, that's how AI is awesome. Like, like when you're stuck, you could be like, I just took a screen grab. It's amazing, but just to show that
Well,
yeah.
here's the thing, Beth. Okay.
For me, I think that's a no-brainer, but you always look at me like I'm talking about
Yes, that's where we're going with that. So yeah,
like
she did. I saw her. I
she
saw her Google it. I saw her ask how it was done. I read the directions right along with her. And so could I have messed it? Maybe, but it would have taken me a lot of brain power and probably an hour to do something just did in 3 minutes. And sometimes your time is just worth it.
That is true. I'm freakishly fast at these things.
Yes, because that's her area of expertise. So
That's
she's freakishly fast at those things. Now, when it comes to social media, I know that people have an awareness around it, but each platform, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, they all have their own little niche of how to be successful on them.
yes. And that's
So
tricky.
that is tricky and it changes.
Always, almost I feel like honestly daily. To be honest, I can't say I know exactly what the stats are right now today, but
Right.
yeah, ever changing.
Yes. So now, how do you help people be successful in those environments?
Well, I think it all starts with your posting strategy, what you're trying to achieve, and the basics of what does your social feed look like? What do you have a business page? um is that even basic things, is that linked to your Google business stuff? I mean, I'm just talking about things that, do you have any Google business reviews, things like that. Well, it's insane how it all kind of works together. So then when, as your name's getting out there and stuff, and it's all branded, all these things kind of go together. So I wouldn't just say like, okay, well, we'll just have this posting strategy, but the thing that I would really drive home is like your branding. So your initial, when you go to someone's page, it's their business page. What are
Mhm.
those like little, those little highlights under there? What are those highlights? Are those parts of your business? I think a lot of it's strategy on what your landing page even looks like. Because you might do the most amazing post and someone's like, oh, that's awesome. And then they click to, to go see you.
Yes.
And they're like, what the heck is all this? So I would say just initially from the get go, figure out what you're going to push out, make it look consistent, and make the messaging consistent. And then you can look at for each variable. For instance, like video performs way better than stills. So if you can post a reel over doing a still post, I'd always recommend that. Moving pictures, those are going to be the most performing things. So that's like, just, to let you know, even if there's a gif of your logo and things moving, that's like a tip I would give. But once again, like LinkedIn is a completely different strategy, and it's also who you're
Mhm.
speaking to. You might be talking to other business owners, that you might want to partner with on your LinkedIn post, whereas on Instagram, you're just trying to promote your June clothing line. You know what I mean?
Right,
So it's
right, yeah.
each each area is almost like a different conversation. I always feel like you're more professional in like LinkedIn, and then in Facebook, it's more fun, family oriented, more lifestyle. And then I feel like in Instagram, it's that same feeling, but it's also a little bit more refined, almost like you can't get there. When you see people in that beautiful sunset, that's that perfect picture that like
Yeah,
you're like, ah, that's the aspirational, like we are cool. So there are all these different like little ways that you can speak to your consumer. That was the longest
absolutely.
answer.
No, no, I loved it because you did a lot of explaining, and this is where Jess excels. If you go to her website, Foster and Co. Is it .com or .net?
.co. Isn't that weird? It's fosterandco.co.
Yeah, fosterandco.co. I did not know that. Um,
I
I just go. I have her saved as a favorite, so that's how I find Jess. She's
yeah,
already saved. She's
never,
saved as a favorite. That's how I go to her website.
they didn't, that com was taken. So I was like, okay, all right. Got
Right,
good.
right.
Yeah,
So
but
check her
yeah.
out through the packages she has. She has, where you can get logos, where you can have websites built, where you can, she can manage some of your social media things. Also, you can, book a call with her to discuss what it is that your business is missing. If you've already started your business, you already have some of those pages set up. Matter of fact, I was making some notes the other day because so Jess has made my website, right? And I will call her every once in a while. And she has packages where you can pay her to do things for you along the way, right? So I will pay Jess to do certain big projects for me. Well, I was just noticing the other day that my website, because I have been doing things on it, I just feel like it needs you want to review your website every couple of years anyway, right? I need her to go in there and just review it, do an audit of it. Like what isn't working, what doesn't feel right, where is the flow off? She does really good at that. Have her do an audit of what you already have existing, because sometimes we get used to looking at things and it looks the way we expect it to. Like I'm writing a book, right? And it's at the point where I'm doing the final grammar check on it. And I have other people helping me, but it's hard because I know what it's supposed to say. So when we look at our own website or we look at our own social media, we know the impression that we're trying to portray. So that's a bias we look at it through. You want someone like Jess to come in who has an unbiased opinion to look at it and say, yeah, I know what you were trying to do. You want
Mhm.
to tweak it here, you want to tweak it here, you need to connect. She had talked a little bit about that. How I know you think everyone thinks that Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, LinkedIn, and Google, all these things are separate beasts, which they are. But also, you want them connected because the more they're connected and people pop over to from your Facebook to your Instagram, it creates these network links.
Yeah.
So then it will pop you up in algorithms. I hope that makes sense. Hardest
Yep.
thing to explain. So, if you already have your existing website and some of your social media pages, have Jess do an audit of it. She can really tell you, tweak it instead of just starting from scratch. You might not need to start from scratch.
You know what
You
I
just,
have right now, Christy? Thanks for bringing that up because I right now on my homepage, you can schedule an audit. Like you just go in and make a time, 15 like free 15 minutes, and I'll just like send me your website or send me your logo or and then like I'll let's get on a call and talk about like what's your what's your concern and how I can help, you know.
I love that because
Uh-huh.
I can't tell you how many people I have messaged me. I have a business, so people are constantly messaging me. Let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. And you don't really know what these people's how they really work. So for Jess to offer that for free, everyone please take advantage of that. She can do a quick audit. Is this going to be a nitty gritty hour audit? No, but she's going to go in and be able to pop around and say, okay, these are some of the big things I'm seeing. And then you can decide if you want to do business with her. Do
Yeah.
not pass that up. Don't pass that up. That is a phenomenal offer.
Mhm.
Now, I've noticed people having inconsistent branding. So let's discuss that a little bit. Whenever people have inconsistent branding, what do you think the downside of that is?
That well, it's because I think that it's you don't know who's talking to. It's like you're talking, you're talking to like. Do you ever see that movie where that guy has like 20 split where he has all those personalities?
Yeah,
That's like
I have.
you're like that's like that's it. Ewan McGregor, or whatever his name was, but yeah, it's not helpful for you, and it doesn't. I feel like instill you want to instill, and this sounds cheesy, but like confidence and trust in your
Yes,
consumer. And if you're trying to be like this like person to go to for any service, but you go into their house and it's a hot mess, that's basically the equivalent of messy logos throughout one brand, I think. But
I
to me,
agree.
but sometimes like I see things differently. So like Christy sees things, it's so funny when we're working together because it's
Yeah,
like we both looking at the same thing, but she's first of all seeing it from in her spirit. She's like,
yeah.
oh, you know, and then I'm seeing things that maybe like, I don't know. I didn't do people notice, logos that are all wonky? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But
No, that's not true. I do. Like I might not notice it. What I call this, so I have a spiritual term for it. Jess has more of a technical term for it. I call it an incongruent energy. And I use that term a lot. People, when you meet someone and someone is saying words to you, but then their energy is different, it doesn't match those words, you can feel it in your spirit. And you might not, if you haven't been taught to read energy, you might not realize that's what you're feeling, but it's incongruent energy. People are not acting in a way that their voice is saying, right? And so it's incongruent, and you can feel that incongruence. It's the same thing when you have inconsistent branding because you have connected to this one branding and you pop over to the site and it's a hot mess because you have all these different branding energetic vibrations to them, right? Every brand, every logo has a vibration to it. And you want to keep that vibration the same across your business, because if you don't, they're not going to understand what they're feeling. They're not going to have words for it, but it's going to be a feeling they feel anyway. They're going to pop over to your site. They're going to see that it's incongruent, inconsistent, incongruent logos, branding. They're going to feel chaotic. They're going to feel unsettled. So then they're going to click off because they don't like that feeling. Now, are they going to take the time to decipher what they're feeling? Absolutely not. Mm-mm. People don't. But because they're not feeling good on your site, then they pop off.
Yeah,
That's what inconsistent branding can do for you.
that's crazy, but it's true. And
Yeah.
each, I mean, every just the color theory of different colors. So that's what, like, I love AI. They can come up with great things, but there's a reason that color and the color wheels and all, designers have all those weird color wheels. Like, there's a reason, because there is color theory and like psychology behind colors. It's so messed up. We should do another lunch and learn where I find some of those like things I've learned about where I'm like, that's shady. Like, you can't do that. Like, they will use colors and shapes to manipulate, people's, I
That
mean,
would be fun. I would
it's
love that.
there's some shady things that people do and you're like, wow, that did work though.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, the fact that there was never even an engagement ring, that was invented by De Beers. That was all a marketing. That was never even a thing. People just got married and put the band on. No one ever got an engagement ring until De Beers did a campaign.
I
And
believe it. There's so many things in our society that have become norms from advertising.
I know. And so I worry that with like an AI and all that stuff, I've seen a bunch of different logos, bunch of my friends that they know I even do this, but I see them do their own logos. I'm like, okay, but you know what I mean? But I'm like,
So
it looks
anyone, I'm going to post this on my podcast. So if you're listening to it audibly, when Jess said they're doing their own thing, she made a sideways face, like, yeah, great. It's when your kids are little and they're like, look, mom, and they're and you're
I
like, yeah, yay, I've seen
know,
this
like
15,000 times, but yay.
that looks awesome like everything else. So, and
Exactly. Oh my gosh, no, this is where we're going on this, because this is my pet peeve right here. Whenever
everything.
I had some young kids come to my house one day. I
How's
don't
young?
know.
What's young? Because I think you're old, but you're not.
I am
So
old, but they were truly young. They were late teens, early 20s.
okay, those are babies. Okay.
Right.
Oh,
They were babies. And they had come here. They were, great, good on them. They were starting a business of cleaning out trash cans, right? And they had their own pressure washer. And so they gave me their business card and I was like, oh, this is nice. And then they instantly rolled into how they had made their business card and they were going to,
aw.
they were going to, in a couple of days, be presenting to a local bank to try to get funding for this business they were going to do. I said, what's your business? It was making websites and things, right? And I was like, oh yeah, Jess had just redone mine. And so they wanted the opportunity to, and I said, I was trying to discourage them. I said, you don't understand. I had a professional do my website. And so they kept saying that they could one up Jess, but they didn't know her name. They just kept saying, we can do it better. We can do it better. I warned them. It's like, don't give me stock photos. Do not give me that website. It's making me crazy now. Everyone, there's like a stock where I guess you can go in and when you scroll, and as it scroll, the website scrolls with you.
Yeah.
That was cool, like the first 500 times I saw it, but now everyone's doing it.
Right.
So these young kids try to make me a prototype. Stock photos. I told you, dude, no stock photos. And it had that scrolling thing.
Ah,
So these kids, and they came back to me, the next week or whatever it was, with my website, and they had gotten funding for this company.
really?
No way would I have done business with them because everything looked like everything else out there.
Yeah, that's the
You
problem.
want to be different. So if you go to my website, you'll see that I have, like, whenever you go to make an appointment, let's just say, where, I have a ton of different things you can book, whether it's past life regression, psychic mediumship reading, healing. I have like this gold cloud that has writing on that. That was created by Jess.
It's
That's
like a
not
bar. It's more like a it's oh yeah, it is. It's like a squish, like a swoosh thing. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Jess created all that. When you look at the back of my website, the page in the background that's kind of swirly and marbly and has all my colors in it, Jess created that. So it's very unique to me. So that goes across everything. I've just recently written a book. So the cover of the book, though it has the same energy to it. Like
Ooh,
it
it
might look
does.
different. It might look different than my website, but it has the same energy to it. So across the way, you want it to be unique. You don't want to look like your friend's website. All those stock photos. I have literally gone to websites and they'll have the same photos on them because they're stock.
You know what I think really helps that book cover, why I love it so much, is that the gold, I feel like, is what carries it through. The gold and
Yeah.
then to the pastel. Like
I
that,
have a lot of gold and pastels on my website.
yeah, that's like your vibration, like, you're up in violet. Woo, you're way up there. I'm still down in gray and black.
That is so not true. She's teasing y'all. That
Go
is
to my
not
website, it's like black and gray. I'm getting there. I'm meditating.
So something else that Jess mentioned earlier that we're going to delve into a little bit more is just because she was talking about how the different strategies across the way and the different feelings of Facebook and Instagram. And let's talk about posting without a strategy.
Ooh.
So,
Well, what do you
yeah,
think about
well, I think it's a waste of time.
I agree.
I mean, if you're going to post, you need to have a strategy behind those posts.
Right. And like, why are you posting and what are you doing? Is it just for awareness or is it for a promotion or is it for both? Right. Basically.
Absolutely. Yes. So, people might not realize it, but whenever they see my postings and I'm doing these reels, I will have a theme behind them. So I might have 20 days of posts that I will do, and they're different things, but they have a theme behind them.
Yep.
And that theme will usually support one of my booking ability. Like, is it psychic mediums? So I will do 20 days of posting, something of, and so then the call to action will relate back to psychic mediumship. Is it for the month talking about my mentorship program a lot? Then the postings, and sometimes I will do two in the same month, but I will do 14 days of this strategy, 14 days of this strategy. So you can switch strategies, but you need to have a theme behind them. You need to understand what you're doing, because if you don't know, your
They,
clients certainly aren't going to know.
they don't. Right. Do you want them to go to your page or meaning like your Instagram page or do you want them to go to your website? So there's a lot of that stuff there.
Yes, I cannot tell you how many times in a reel I will, that I have said over just this past year, in 2026, for more information on blah, 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 go to www.christygodwinpsychicmedium.com. Like, yes, do you feel like you're repeating yourself over and over? Yes, you will be repeating yourself over and over because people need to hear it over and over to move on it.
And I think a lot of and here's the whole TikTok thing, right? TikTok is for a bunch of younger people. So who are you talking to? I'm learning more every day and day about TikTok, but that's one thing that I think you also need to keep in mind who you're talking to, who your audience is.
Your audience.
Because if
I
you talk to like a 60-year-old, you're going to speak differently to them than a teenager, right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yes.
I cut you off.
No, you're all good. This goes back. I just wrote a book that is finished. I'm going through the last proofing of it, and then it's set for publication on September 7th, I believe. So my husband actually was the first person who read this book because he is very meticulous when it comes to proofing. He's done a lot of that in his job. So he gave me one of the best compliments, but it is perfect for this because the book is Never Mistake Strength for Sovereignty. I wrote it for women. I'm not going to lie. That was my target audience, women. So my husband reads this book. and he comes back and he's like, Christy, this was money. He's taking excerpts out of this book and saying, this was money. This was and he said, I just have he said, I have one complaint about it. It's like, yep, lay it on me. He said, you wrote it and something that, is just for women. Yeah. Is that your complaint? Because yeah, I did do that. He said, but men could get so much out of this book. I said, but I didn't want to write it for men. That's not my target audience right now. Maybe later, but no, right now my target audience is women. And I said, and then if I had written it in a neutral language where it would apply to both of them, it would have muddied it. So I was very specific on who my audience was. Now, can men get benefit from this book? Absolutely. Are they going to have a hard time reading the book around the feminine feel to it? Probably. But that was my target audience. So you want to be clear of who you're speaking to, because if you're not clear, your audience isn't clear. So your message is going to be muddled and kind of muddied down.
Yeah. If you're trying to speak to everyone, you essentially like speak to no one. It's just lost in the wind.
Absolutely. Now, can you have a business where you're speaking to both men and women? Absolutely. But then you have to, what is the message? It has to be one that's applicable to both sides.
Right.
And then something else now this is something I know I struggle with sometimes. I kind of forget about when I'm doing some of my postings. It's a strong call to action.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that, Jess. Let's talk about that call to action that Christy sometimes forgets about.
What do you mean? Like a call to action to the website or the call to action?
Whatever it is, like whatever your call to action is going to be. Because I will post something and then not say what I want you to do.
Register here. Well, sometimes it's tricky because sometimes it feels awkward, right? And so if you do forget to say it in your post or call to action, that's like the best time you can. Why I really like Instagram, and well, my Instagram stories goes straight to Facebook stories, so I don't like post on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where you can just like, those are like things I'll try to remind you, like when you do post that, put links. Just always have it handy and have like a cute little, like I could give you your logo. Ooh, I'll do that. I'm going to send you your logo so you can make it a sticker and you can put it on your stories. And so then when they click there, they don't even have to www. It'll take you directly to where they need to go. So
That's very cute. So now this is where Jess will send this to me and then we'll have to get on call. But she can train you. Like she will show you how you can do it. Yes, you have to pay for her time while she's doing that. Rightly so. But I said, I can do that. I can make it a sticker where it will get a link. I don't know how to do that. So Jess, you pay for her time, but it's worth it. She will show you how to do it. Now, also, you could pay her to do it for you.
yes,
You could pay her to, they like, Jess, I don't have time. And sometimes you know how to do something, but it's worth your time to pay someone else to do it. So that the things that your Jess cannot read for me. She cannot mentor for me. She can't do a past life regression for me.
no.
So sometimes it's worth my time to be in appointments doing what I love to do, because that stuff that Jess is talking about, she loves it. Christy does not. I'll be the first to. I don't love that stuff. I love what you can make an appointment, like mentorships, readings, past life. I love that stuff. I don't love the social media stuff. I understand I have to do it. So it's better for me mentally. I just think it's more fun. It frees up my time to do the things I want to do, to pay Jess to do it for me. Yes. Now, sometimes I will do it. Sometimes I am, Jess, can you show me how to do this? And even though I know how to do it and she has shown me how, I will have a really busy month. I was like, yeah, Jess, can I just pay you to do all this for me? She'll send me an invoice, pay it. And then, yes, and I do encourage Jess. I'm going to tell Jess this right now. And this is part of how I, mentor people through businesses. Get your payment first. So, yeah. I'm telling Jess right now, Have
Really?
people pay you first.
That is unheard of in my land. In
Right.
this square.
Or get half payment at least.
Women. I know. So one time I got a party planner, paid her half, and then she bailed on me. So I've always had this weird, like,
Yeah.
feeling like,
I
well, I
used to also.
understand. Yeah. But I've
I
done
used
work where people haven't paid me, so that sucks too.
It does suck. And I used to be that way. When I first started my business, I had a really hard time making people pay. But a couple of times of me showing up to appointments, like, so you can only make, I only have this many hours that I can work in a day, right?
Right.
So a couple of times of me, people making appointments and they didn't pay up front, and me sitting there staring at the screen for 20 minutes. And during that time, and it's not like I can pop out and book another appointment in there. These it doesn't happen that fast. I started having people pay up front, and it's amazing when people pay up front, they show.
They show up.
They show up,
Yeah.
which I much prefer than
Right.
staring at an empty screen. So, yes,
Right. It's a win-win.
absolutely. Now, something else that this is what I'm about to tell you, something I really had to get over, and Jess is really good about talking people over making sure everything is absolutely perfect before you go live.
Oh,
Like my site, there was a couple of things I was like, well, I want this. And Jess is like, you know what? Let's make this part of the site live,
yeah.
and we can continue building this back end. Now, yes, if you have a first website where it's just very basic, yes, that whole thing will be live at one time. My
Yeah.
site is pretty intricate. It has a lot. You click on my site and you're going to a different booking system. You're going to a different Divine Collective community. So there's a lot of ins and outs to an intricate site like mine. But so she was very good about, and you think that there's one little thing off and it's just going to ruin your whole business. It's not.
No one even sees it, by the way.
They
I
don't.
had a hidden ghost link in the footer for a while so I could test the Kajabi thing. No one even knew about.
In my site,
Yeah, you still didn't even know where it
I
was.
didn't know it was there.
I had it for my own. All right, let's see if I can get the Kajabi people. Yeah. Like it changes. Like right now I could change Christy's site as we're doing this. It's so easy. So don't be scared to hit publish. You know,
So
and it's
that's
a
so
different.
funny. That is so funny that Jess had something live on my. I had no idea.
You had no
But no,
idea.
I didn't. So Kajabi, for people listening, is not going to make sense to you. But Divine Collective is housed on. I'm in the process of bringing it back to Wix, but right now Kajabi, when you go to Divine Collective, you don't realize it, but you're signing into a different area called Kajabi. And so when we were building, the just was intricate in getting that set up for me. And
Well,
so
I'm trying well, in trying to pull it over now, I'm trying to make, like, a fake sign-in for the new when we get it implemented, but no one can see where it is, but it has to be live, so that's why it's hidden. But I have it.
So now she has
Now
probably
I
she's
gotta
saying
move
the opposite is what she's saying is we're bringing it back from Kajabi to Wix, and so now she has another hidden. I'll be on there like, where is it? Like we clicking
well,
around like, where
now
is it?
shoot, now I gotta move it.
So those are the things that you just can do that will kick your business into overdrive and make you look like a professional, make you look like you're not just playing amateur hour, that you are a legit business. People have to have confidence in you when they go. If people are giving you money, if people are making appointments with you, you have to look like a professional to instill that character and integrity in them.
Mhm.
All right. So I want to thank everyone who has joined us today. Jess and I will be live again next week, same time. This will
It'll
be
have a
posted.
name. What was the name? It was gonna be Lunch and Learn, right? No,
Yeah.
Lunch, Learn, and it had it, but we had this more spiritual. I think we should
Yeah.
talk more about you next week.
Oh, I don't know. I get a lot of talking about me.
But yeah, lunch, learn, and whatever. Lunch, learn, and It
Yes,
wasn't
so be looking for the advertisements. If y'all are listening
yeah,
to this recording, if y'all are listening to this recording after the fact, we would love to have y'all join us live. It will be again a week from next. It will be next week. I think Wednesday is what, the 12th?
7
Yes,
plus 5, the
yeah,
12th,
the
yes.
12th at noon again on YouTube. And we would love to have y'all join us
Oh, no,
live and
noon
bring your
Cen
questions.
sorry,
Yeah,
I was just saying time zone, noon Central.
noon
Um,
Central Time for sure. All right. Thank you, everyone. Now, if you're interested in Jess's business, please go to fosterandco.co.
yes.
You can check her out. You can book a kind of a free discovery call with her where she will, go through your stuff briefly and tell you what, give you some ideas of what you could change and what she could do to help your business. You want an appointment with me, of course, Christy Godwin, psychic medium. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.